Okay, so today is pretty nasty outside. It's raining. It's been raining for a few days now, so I haven't been able to mess with the Rhino. I'm gonna go ahead and wash it while it's raining. I'll go ahead and try to clean out the aluminum stuff real good with some Alumabrite from Napa Auto Parts. So I'm gonna spray that around the wheels, maybe the diffs. I already did the engine. Kind of just clean it off real good and see what I'm working with, because I know it's still pretty dirty. So I need to clean it anyways so I can start working on the fenders, bringing back the nice green shine back. So that's what I'm gonna do today, just pretty much wash it since I haven't been able to do anything else. I do want to move it inside the shed, but I want to clean all the mud out first, because I cleaned the shed and I don't want any more junk in there. This bumper is kind of like an eyesore. I don't like it at all. I was hoping that they bolted it on, but no, they actually welded it. So I'm gonna have to get the grinder and see if I can cut it out. I already have a new bumper or used bumper for it, so I'm gonna go ahead and try to do that later on once I finish cleaning it. But anyways, to clean, you just pretty much spray the stuff on the aluminum. Don't use any chrome part. Don't use it on any chrome parts, only on aluminum, because it will mess the finish up. So you should spray it on there, let it sit for a few seconds. If you want, you can even use a little brush, a little soft brush, like a, not really a wire brush, but like a plastic one. The wire brush you can use in the engine and differentials. It kind of helps break everything else up. But for the rims, I would just stick to the regular plastic brush. So I'm gonna go ahead and do that now, and then we'll see what it looks like once I'm done. Okay, I got some Alumabrite in the bottle that I just got from Home Depot. So I'm gonna go ahead and spray it on there real good. Now that I got everything sprayed down, all the aluminum, radiator, differential rear, and the front one, all four wheels, you just wait about 30 seconds or so, and that will be a good time to scrub the differential or engine with that brush I was telling you about. So let's sit here and wait a little bit, then we'll go ahead and start up the power washer. We waited long enough, so as you can see, the stuff's starting to work. The wheel's starting to look good again. So now let's go ahead and crank the power washer. You can see there's a huge difference on the aluminum on the wheels. It turned out really good. I'm not gonna keep these rims. I may keep them as spares, but I think I want to go with the 14-inch rim. The radiator still needs a little bit more. Now if you use a power washer, I don't recommend getting the fins. I'll probably use like a water hose on that, just to make sure you don't bend them or damage anything. But it's looking pretty good. I'm gonna go ahead and put a second coat of that Alumabrite on the differentials. They still have quite a bit to go, but the wheels are done, and I power washed most of the plastics and stuff. But I'm gonna soap it down, power wash it a little bit more. But so far I'm pretty happy with the results. It looks like a completely different machine now. The radiator turned out pretty good, the oil cooler as well. There's still a few things I have to do. That turned out pretty good. The steering deal has to be cleaned a little bit more. This front differential is hard to get to, but it looks a lot better than when it did. There's a close-up of the wheels. Here's the rear differential. Looks brand new almost. So yeah, if you have some dirty stained aluminum wheels, you can spray that stuff on there and they'll clean them right up. It looks like a brand new machine almost, except for the faded plastics. But next I'm still gonna try to figure out these snorkels. They're kicking my butt. I know where they go. I just can't get them in there. I think they probably made them once the engine, or took them out once the engine was apart, because I cannot get them in. So worst case scenario, I'll just remake them. No big deal. But I'm gonna try it one more time just to see if I can get it in there. If not, I'll just remake them. Hopefully this cleaning tip will help you guys out to make your machines look as best as possible. All right guys, it's still raining, not as much, but it's still raining some. So I figured out how the snorkels go. I had them backwards. I had them switched around, so I switched it around and it fit perfectly. I was going to remake them because it had some holes, which I like the idea, but I don't want to risk having holes and then you go through water and then you have to rebuild the engine again. So what I did hopefully holds. I got this putty. It's kind of like a JB Weld from an auto parts store. So it's like a putty, and you just mix it together until it starts to get hot. Then you apply it and it hardens. So right now it's hard as a rock. So I did that on the ones that were loose. There was 2 here and then 1 on the other snorkel for the differential. One of these is for a line for the vent for the radiator front differential, and I forgot what the other one went to, but the one over there, it's for the rear differential. So I went ahead and did that, see how it holds. If for some reason it doesn't hold very good, then worst case scenario, I'll just have to do the re-greasing of the clutches, because those 2 snorkels go to where the clutches are at. The important one is this one, and this one doesn't have any holes in it, so I should be good. I'm not planning on taking it through deep water anyway. It's not my thing. I don't really want to ruin this. So that's what I've done so far. What I'm going to do next is maybe put the plastics, the side plastic back on, and try to take that stupid, ugly, homemade bumper off and put the other one on. So it's a lot of work. I have to get the grinder and grind all these welds so I can put that new one. Hopefully the holes for the other bumper are still there. Hopefully they didn't weld over them. So yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. It's probably gonna take up most of the day. It's a look of how it looks with the snorkels. It's coming along pretty good. Guys, I got the old bumper off. Like I thought, it was a pain in the butt to cut. This is the only way I could get it done. So I don't know if I'm missing a few things, or if this bumper is from a different year, and different years determine if they fit or not. But it looks like the little tabs where those holes go, it's not there, it's missing. Maybe they cut it out. The ones up here line up, but the ones in the bottom don't, so I don't think it's going to be that much of an issue. I could probably make new ones. Now, they did a horrible job welding this thing. As you can see, they welded part of the bolt there, so if I ever have to get this thing out, I'm going to have to cut around that. I'm just going to clean this stuff here up a little bit, and maybe this as well, but I think I'm going to leave it there because I'm going to need this, and then I'm sure this thing had some kind of a winch mount here, so I need to figure out how to secure it to where it's sturdy and it doesn't move, because I want to put a winch because this thing looks to be pretty heavy. Here's the old bumper. I had to cut it into sections. It was a pain in the butt. I'm glad it's out. So now I'm gonna see if I can get this front bumper mounted. Before that, I'm gonna maybe prep the front while I have it exposed like this to sand it down, paint it, and also get all the mud out of the radiator and oil cooler, because it looks like it's caked on there. I'm sure this thing was overheating. Maybe that's why it started smoking. But while I'm here, I want to go ahead and clean everything up, and then maybe do the rear and then finally the fenders. Alright guys, so I am going to attempt to take away this ugly finish on the fenders, the oxidation that got on there for being in the sun too long. So you know me, I always like to try new things. I was at the auto parts store and I came across this product by Meguiar's for oxidation removal. So I talked to the guy, he said it works pretty good, so I'm gonna go ahead and give it a shot. What I did first is I removed the stickers over here. So you can see there's a big difference between the two. So my goal is to get to this. Another way to do it is sanding it. There's not a lot of scratches on here that I can see. There are a few big ones, but the sanding is not really gonna take care of these since they're so deep. So I may live with them. The problems that I see that I may come across is these little things here. I don't know how this pad's gonna fit in there, so I'm gonna go ahead and try it, see how it turns out, and then just kind of tackle the rest later as it comes up. So first, per the instructions, is you shake it pretty good. You apply some on here and then you rub it around with these pads. This I got online. I think it's like a 5-pack. Comes from China, so it takes a little while to get here. And then I got this cheap thing just to try to use it for this type of stuff from Harbor Freight Tools, and it comes with this pad. So I'm gonna go ahead and give it a shot. It's not the best, but I've used it and it hasn't broke yet, so I don't really need to get a really fancy one because this is pretty much all I'm gonna use it for. So I'm gonna go ahead and give it a shot and see how it turns out. Guys, so I went ahead and did that buffing with the compound that I had gotten. It did work, but it didn't work as good as I thought it was gonna work. So you can see the color is coming back, but it's not quite to this green here. So I went ahead to plan B. I've been doing some research about some stuff to get that out. So I came across some paint thinner and boiled linseed oil. 60% of the paint thinner with 40% of the boiled linseed oil, which I have back here. You mix it and then you apply it. This is the side that I've done on the rear, and this is what it looked like here. I'm not sure if it's going to stay like this. I'm going to apply maybe 5 coats of it, let it dry, and only time will tell to see if it's going to work or not, but it makes a huge difference. It looks pretty good. So I'm going to go ahead and try that, and then after it dries I may go over it with the buffer again to kind of give it a little bit more depth to the color. So I'm gonna go ahead and do the back. You just pretty much get a rag like this, you put it on there. This is why I think I may not get it all out, because you can still see some of it up here. Down here worked pretty good, but as you can tell it's not quite all dry yet. So I'm gonna go ahead and do the entire thing and see how it looks like. I'm even gonna do the black, and then guess if it doesn't work, then I'll go ahead and sand everything. But for now I'm gonna go ahead and apply the whole thing on the Rhino and see how it goes.